guys, what's up? Happy Friday. I hope y'all are having a great day. I was going through your study questions and case study on Annie, like what did Annie do wrong from yesterday, because that was due yesterday evening. So I was going through them and putting them in the grade book. If you did the work, I gave you credit for it. However, I was going through a lot of them and some of y'all had wrong answers for the study questions and y'all didn't fully explain the case study. So that being said, I was thinking a couple of things. I said, oh Lord, either they're not watching, I think some of y'all are maybe not watching the videos and just answering the questions just to answer them, I'm not sure. Or number two could be that you are legitimately trying to answer the questions and y'all not understanding stuff and are getting them wrong. So either way, I wanted to make a video and kind of go through the correct answers and what you should have, okay? So let me turn down because I have my Christmas music on. If you know me, you know I listen to Christmas music all day, every day, because I'm a little crazy. But anyway, so the study questions come, the little multiple choice questions come right from the back of the chapter. So I just have it out and we'll go through them. So it says, a food handler has finished trimming raw chicken on the cutting board and needs to prep the vegetables. What must be done to the cutting board? Most of y'all got that right. You need to wash it, rinse it, and sanitize it. So y'all got that one right. This one a couple of y'all got wrong. It says, how far must a bimetallic stem thermometer be inserted into food to give it an accurate reading? The answer is to the dimple on the thermometer stem. Okay, some of y'all put past the dimple, some of y'all put before the dimple, but it needs to be inserted. And this was a question that I've seen on several practice certification tests and things like that. So pay attention. So it's got to be inserted up to the dimple. And I know you can't see the dimple, and when we get into class in a couple of weeks, I'll have you take a look at it. But it's like right there, there's a little indentation on it. So it has to be inserted into the food up into the dimple, not past the dimple, not below the dimple, but exactly even with the dimple. Okay, so a lot of y'all got that one wrong. Which probe should be used to check the temperature of a chicken breast? An air probe? No. An immersion probe? No. Remember, immersion probes are for soups and liquids and things like that. Surface probe? No. You're never going to use a surface probe to check any kind of internal temp of food. So the penetration probe was the correct answer. So penetration probe, which would be one like this, is a penetration probe, or on my digital thermometer here, it's also a penetration probe. Okay, so internal temperature of like a chicken breast is going to be a penetration probe. What else we got? At what temperatures do most foodborne pathogens grow most quickly? So that's a kind of a tricky question where we've always been going by the 41 and 135, right? We say what temperature do pathogens grow well, or what temperature is the time temperature danger zone? That's always 41 to 135. This one they're asking you, remember I told you they were going to throw in a new range this chapter. It says, what temperatures do most foodborne pathogens grow quickly? That is 70 to 125. All right, so 70 to 125. I think most of y'all got this one right. Which practice can help prevent time temperature abuse? That one is going to be limiting the amount of food that can be removed for prep. So if you're making a bunch of sandwiches, or making like 10 sandwiches, you're not going to take out a whole bunch of meat. You're going to take out just what you need to make those 10 sandwiches. Otherwise, you're putting the food at risk to being time temperature abused. Surface temperatures, it says which thermometer, number 6, which thermometer is used to measure surface temperatures. That one's going to be that was a little tricky. Let's see what they put for that one. 6, they put C, an infrared. Oh, well, hello, I was misreading it. Yes, that one's easy. If it's surface temperature, it's infrared, which is this one. And that one's easy. So surface temperatures, infrared, like this, right? You will not use use this to check the internal temperatures of food. You cannot use a surface probe or infrared thermometer to check the internal temperatures of food. Only the surface of equipment. Okay. All right, number 7, y'all got wrong. It's a thermometer used to measure the temperature of food must be accurate to what temperature? It's plus or minus 2. If you're using the thermometer to check the internal temperature of food, it's got to be plus or minus 2 within the range. It's considered okay. If it's an air probe you're using to check the temperature of air, it's got to be plus or minus 4. Okay, so if you're using the thermometer to check food, it's got to be accurate plus or minus 2. Air probe plus or minus 4. Cross-contamination, number 8. It says which practice can help prevent it. That's easy. That's color-coded cutting boards. Y'all got that one right. Which device can be used to monitor both time and temperature during a shipment of food? So if you're trying to ship food, that one's the time temperature indicator. Those are those little tags. It's a little tag they put on food when it leaves the place of delivery. When it leaves the place, like say the warehouse, it's got a little tag on it, and it'll show red. Basically, green is good, yellow is and then red means it's been in the time temperature danger zone at some point during shipment, and you don't want to accept that food. So that's a time temperature indicator. How long can food stay in the time temperature danger zone? Between 41 and 135 before you got to throw it out. 4 hours. 4 hours. Okay, if it's in the time temperature danger zone, more than 4 hours, you got to throw it out. Okay, so those are the study questions. Make sure you go over and make sure you know the correct answers. As far as Annie goes, let me find Annie in the book real quick, because most of y'all got what Annie did wrong, but some of y'all didn't pick up on a couple of things. So what's Annie up to? Is I forget. So let's see what it says. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. She's starting her workday at the Little Bistro. She meets with her chef. Her first task is to make broccoli quiches for a lunch special. 6:15 a.m. She's collected all the ingredients. She gets out the salt, the eggs, the cream, the butter, and the cheese on the prep table. On her last trip to the cooler, she gets the broccoli. It took over an hour to wash and chop it. So most of y'all got that right. She's pulled out the salt. She's pulled out not the salt, but the eggs, the cream, the butter, and the cheese. Can she leave that sitting out while she takes over an hour to chop up broccoli? No, she should have left that in the cooler until she was ready to use it. So most of y'all got that. Annie was finally able to make the quiche filling. Leaving the leftover eggs and cream on the table, she got out the pre-made crust and begins filling it in. She got the quiches in the oven for 10:45. Supposed to bake, so most of y'all got that too. She didn't want to overcook them, but instead she undercooked them. She didn't cook them to the right temperature, and that can make somebody sick. She used the infrared thermometer to check the temperature of one quiche in 2 places. Are you going to use an infrared thermometer to check the internal temperature of those quiches? No. Okay, you cannot use an infrared thermometer for that. She should have had like a digital thermometer. Technically, quiches are not liquid, so you wouldn't really use an immersion probe, but some kind of little digital thermometer where you can stick the stem of it in there, penetration probe, and get the temperature of those quiches. So not a lot of y'all picked up on that. You cannot use, y'all could drive me crazy. You cannot use the infrared thermometer to check the internal temperature of food. If y'all were in class, I'll be doing the same thing. Can't wait to get y'all back in 2 weeks. I miss you guys. What else do we got? So it says she uses the infrared thermometer to check the internal temperature of the food. No, you don't do that. So then she sets them on the table to cool. While they're cooling, she's making fruit salad. She washes her hands and puts on gloves. She heads back to the prep table with the melon, and she notices that she left the eggs and cream out. She puts them back in the cooler. Should she have done that? Most of y'all have gotten that correct. No, she's not going to put the eggs and the cream back in the cooler. You're going to throw them away because they've been sitting out for more than 4 hours, I'd imagine. And then she wipes down and starts prepping the melon. Technically, she didn't sanitize the table. It doesn't mention them doing that. Or washing her hands, I don't believe. Okay, so biggest thing that I think y'all missed, most of y'all got that one right. The biggest thing that y'all missed is the thermometer. Some of y'all did catch it, but those that didn't, you cannot use this for the internal temperature of food. Okay? I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. I hope you're watching these videos because they're going to help. And if you don't watch these videos, you're going to be lost. The rest of this next chapter picks up on purchasing food and receiving food and storing food. I will post a video. If I don't post one up later today, I will definitely be posting a video up Monday morning to kind of get y'all familiar with different receiving temperatures and that kind of stuff. And make sure you watch it because otherwise you're going to be lost. And I keep saying that because it's important. So what else on the agenda for today? Today you had your interactive notebook that's going to be due Monday at 11:59 for those introduction to the flow of food terms, like all the different thermometers on your interactive notebook. And go ahead and read through the PowerPoint for Chapter 5 and kind of get familiar with it. There's no video for Chapter 5. It's the same video from Chapter 4. Remember I told you it's kind of all lumped together, so you can watch that video. Talk to you later. Bye. Yes, ma'am.